Hello, it is World Wide Web, Wednesday, April 27th, 2022. Steve Sipress here, and the internet world is still abuzz over the big $44 billion purchase of Twitter by the world's richest man, Elon Musk. So the world's richest man, that's buying any business, is already cause for the world, internet world to be abuzz. And second of all, Twitter being one of the top 10 most trafficked websites in the world, one of the top few of the social media sites. So it's big news, still being talked about, and I have a feeling will be for a while to come. Not to mention, by the way, it made me think it's great news that Elon Musk is taking on the much needed cleanup of the cesspool known as Twitter. Be nice if he then moves on to take over some other destructive, horribly run, corrupt, horrible entities. Like, can he take over the FBI? Can he take over the NIH, the CDC? They've done more damage and destruction in the last 2 years than anyone could ever have imagined. Certainly more than any virus ever could have done. Can he take over just about everything to do with the government? Like on and on and on. But for now, we'll have to be satisfied with him taking over Twitter. Of course, it's still months away. One problem with that, of course, is all the damage that can be done by the current anti-free speech, leftist, Marxist, ridiculous, embarrassingly absurd people that are now at Twitter. They can mess around with the code. They can put in all kinds of back doors. They can mess around with all kinds of things. First order of business for almost any entrepreneur taking over any business, and if you've ever done that, bought an existing business or taken one over, almost the first thing you do all the time is completely clean house. And even if you don't get rid of all the employees, you certainly get rid of all the management. That's famously, they do that in sports. New owner buys a team and the manager is gone and the assistant manager and if it's baseball, the hitting coach and the pitching coach and the whole staff is gone. They don't get rid of all the players. They get rid of some of them, but they'll get rid of all the management staff. So that's job number one for Elon Musk. If he does not do that, and that's the business lesson here, if you take over an existing business, especially in this case, where this has been free reign, leftist, Marxist, destructive business. 99% of their political donations go to leftists who like to call themselves progressive, but of course they're anti-American leftists. That is a tough battle to get that under control. To think that you're going to get rid of half of them and bring in half people that actually care about the country, half the people that are pro-free speech, and they'll duke it out. Like, no, what you do is you get rid of everybody, and you basically start over again. Maybe not the lowest level, the programmers or whatever, but there's all kinds of poison pills in there, to coin a phrase of something the board already tried to use to keep him out of Twitter. There's all kinds of what in government is known as the deep state. You've heard me talk about a lot. A deep state exists in every organization of any size at all. Almost always exists in any business, in any church, in any family, certainly any government organization. There is a deep state. There are people that have been there longer than the person running things, and they believe they know better. And they want things, no matter how much the new owner, in this case Musk, wants things to change, they're going to say, no, we know better. It's not the way it's done here. They're going to undermine him. They're going to sabotage his efforts. They're going to mess up. I mean, you saw it happen to Trump 4 years. I don't know how much you saw or paid attention. I certainly didn't a lot, but from what I heard, there was all kinds of people working in the White House and certainly in government agencies that were very much against this outsider, this upstart who didn't pay his dues by living in the cesspool of Washington, D.C. for 50 years. How dare he come in and want to change things? We're not going to do that. And so the same thing will happen at Twitter, which will be a big problem. So I think what you're going to see is Elon Musk. Now, unfortunately, this regulation and buying out a big multi-billion-dollar business like this, supposedly it's going to take months and months. They say maybe by the end of the year, he'll be able to get in there and take it over. For us, small businesses, when we buy them or take them over, we can make things happen much quicker. In my experience, day one, I had a manager in my door-to-door sales career, my 9 year of door-to-door sales, which I spent some time as a troubleshooter, where offices that were underperforming, the regional manager would send in a crew and look to turn it around. And the first thing we do on day one is say, we're getting rid of everybody. That's it. You saw that on Tabitha, the Salon Makeover, or whatever that show was called. I loved it, how she famously would say to the salon owner going in to rescue the salon, and maybe this happens on the Bar Rescue and other similar shows, but I remember watching Tabitha, and she would say to the owner, give me your keys. She'd get all the staff together, and you'd say, I'm here for a week, I'm taking over, and at the end of this week, possibly none of you will still be here. You have 1 week to prove to me why you should still be here. That's the attitude when you take over a business. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure he knows what he's doing. That's what Elon Musk will do. He will say, you are all gone on day one. And they're now on notice, of course, for months. And thankfully, some of them will voluntarily leave. Heck, people are voluntarily leaving the platform. The leftist, Marxist, anti-free speech people are like, what? You're going to allow the other side to be heard? We can't have that. I'm going to get all in a huff, just like I do every 8 or 12 years and promise to leave the country if the candidate I don't like wins the presidency. And of course, they never leave. But I see some people that have been banned and shadow banned and throttled, like myself and others, coming back to Twitter. I put in a notice to Twitter to get my old account back that was hacked. Right now, I'm at Cypress Steve for some reason. But I put in a message to their support to get back my at Steve Cypress. And they said, we'll get back to you in a few days. So maybe by next week sometime, I'll be back on there with my old at Steve Cypress. I don't plan to tweet or actively build a following or do anything with that, but it'd be interesting to see, get a bird's eye view of what's happening. So, but of course, I'm not running the thing. So different for customers, users, members, patients, clients, whatever they are to your business. When you take over the business, likely you're going to have a deep state. You're going to have pushback, sabotage from within. It behooves you to clean house. I used to call what this regional manager would do going lean and mean. We'd get to a location, he would come in, there'd be 30, 40 people, but it's underperforming. He'd cut it down to 5. He'd just get rid of 80, 90% of the people. Cut it down to the 5 monsters. Those of us that were following the system, giving all out, doing our best, putting up the numbers, doing things the way they're supposed to be done. Within a matter of weeks, we had duplicated and brought in new people, and it was back to 30 people, only now it was 30 monsters who had duplicated the few of us who were left standing under this lean and mean. So I took that to heart, and I've always thought about it over the years. I have taken over many businesses. I've counseled many, many, many entrepreneurs to buy businesses, take over businesses, transition family businesses. I always suggest, I hope that Elon Musk does it as well, to go lean and mean. Cut out just about everybody. Be left with just the few that really have the right mindset and the right attitude. Then bring in the new people and duplicate that. If you don't go lean enough, if you keep too much of the riffraff, and then you start hiring to replace the ones that you got rid of or the ones that left, you could have a lot of poison there, a lot of trouble with the riffraff poisoning the new people. So get rid of the riffraff when you take over a business. Hopefully that's what we'll see Elon Musk do. You saw Donald Trump do it to an extent, at least in the White House. He was always being railed on for like, oh, the chaos, oh, people come and go in the White. Yeah, that's what entrepreneurs do, right? Slow to hire, quick to fire. Let's hope Elon Musk does that. It's the only hope he has to turn around Twitter, is to get rid of probably 90% of the crap that he's got working there. The people that are pouting, oh, I'm crying because he bought it over. Just get rid of that person. Get rid of that person, anyone they've talked to, anyone that's influenced by them, susceptible to their nonsense. Just get rid of them. You do the same when you take over a business or when you buy an existing business. Do not be afraid. There are plenty of people out there. You cannot have poison people, the deep state, people there that think they know better than you, that will undermine you when you take something over. And that's the lesson today on World Wide Web Wednesday. Let's see if Elon Musk takes my advice. Come on, Elon, take my advice. I know better than you, the most successful, richest entrepreneur of all time. All right, just kidding. That'll do it for today. I'll be back again on Throwback Thursday tomorrow. I will catch you then. Thanks for being here today, and thanks for all those likes and faces and whatever was going across the screen. I appreciate all of it, and I will catch you tomorrow. Over and out. Bye-bye.